You're listening to Living in Spain podcasts with David Wright.
Today I'm with a guest who's a member on our group. So hi Nick, thanks for joining us. Where are you from at the moment, Nick?
Yeah, so I'm Chorley, Lancashire, so the northwest of England. So just northwest of Manchester, about 20 miles from Manchester for reference point.
And what's the weather like where you are today?
For a one-off, it's glorious. We're hitting the heady heights, I think, of about 23, 24 degrees at the moment.
Good. Just as a lot of the members probably won't know you very well, can you just tell us what's your status at the moment? When are you moving to Spain? How's it going for you? And what's your plans?
Yeah, okay. So, obviously, it's been delayed by COVID and a couple of other bits and bats. I'm not going to bore you with my life story. To answer the question, the soonest we'll be there is going to be next summer. The latest we'll be there will be summer 2024. Now, that's dependent on what is my easiest route across, which is via the foreign birth registration to gain Irish citizenship. The reason I'm not sure on timescales is because they've got a massive backlog at the minute because of the pandemic. So I'm currently in that queue waiting. It's not a question of if I'll get the citizenship. I'll get it because I'm eligible. It's just a case of as and when. And obviously, there's other things we need to put in place. We're a family that's moving, so it can't be done as a knee-jerk reaction.
Sure. So you're going the Irish passport route then?
Well, it's one of the options. It's one of three that I'm looking at. So the fact is that we're coming. So that's done and dusted. It's happening. It's just which route we take. The Irish citizenship route is by far the easiest and cost effective for me. That said, the NLV visa is another route that we can take, and especially considering the recent changes with regards to that and being able to work after a year, that ticks a huge box again. The third option, digital nomad visa, we know we're not clear on that yet as to what that's going to be, but that's there as well. So there's a number of options for me, but it's gone to having a few options from having what we thought were no options, back in kind of like 2019.
Well, it's good. It's good that you're positive in the way you're looking at it. And so where's here for you then? Where are you planning exactly? Have you found somewhere you like?
Yeah, so we're looking at Benalmadena. And I know people might raise their eyebrows at that, and party town and so on and so on. But everywhere's got a party town. We're looking at Benalmadena, but maybe a little bit further inland, Almeria. I appreciate that's a large place, and we've discussed that it's a case of coming over there and drilling down into where we want to go. We've looked at Estepona down there, so we've kind of pinpointed those three places. Almeria, we've not really explored that much, so that's what we're going to use the next 12 months for, is kind of coming over, looking, exploring, and just seeing what suits us best. Because it's not a case of we land somewhere and we set up, myself and my wife. We're a family of three. We have an 11-year-old daughter who we need to consider. So it's about integrating as well, and she's a primary concern as to how that will happen. And
you've got to pronounce it right. It's Almeria, as I say.
Almeria, sorry. Almeria. What was I calling it? Almeria. Yeah, I've called it all sorts of things.
When I come on the plane with my wife, my Spanish wife, when we come back from the UK and on the plane, and the pilot says over the tunnel, "We've landed in Almeria," and my wife says, "Where?"
You're in the wrong place.
Yeah, so you've got a time scale, you've got things in progress, and so why the big reason why Spain? What made you choose Spain? Is it the weather, the cost of living, or you just fed up with the UK?
Yeah, how do I put those in order? Let's put the last one first, and fed up with the UK. No, everyone's got their own opinions on the UK, and I'm not going to get into politicizing things and so on and so on. That, yeah, fine. I'm kind of done with the UK. Love the UK. It's my birth country. That'll never change. However, it's the weather. It's the people. It's the lifestyle. Now, I know that going on holiday to Spain is a completely different thing from living there. I understand that. It's not holiday time all the time. I get that. However, the way of life is far more relaxed. It's far more positive, and that's a big thing with me. You know, we've had setbacks with businesses and our personal lives and so on. And I'm not playing the smallest violin in the world or anything like that. Everyone has issues and has had issues. However, you know, the positivity is a big thing for us. We're self-employed. We started our business from scratch. We're not rolling in money by any stretch of the imagination. But to do those kind of things, you've got to have a positive outlook on life. And I just feel that in Spain, there is far more positivity than there is over here in the UK. And importantly, like I touched on before, I feel it'll give our daughter a better crack at life, so to speak. You know, if she wants to stay over in Spain when she's older, fine. If she doesn't, fine also. But I just think that she will have more opportunity over there.
I mean, I never really knock the UK. I mean, I was born in Brighton. I love it there, you know, but I just don't want to live there anymore. And I think the way I describe it is, if, you know, I look at it like I lived in one village in the UK and I moved to another village. I'm just moving on a little bit further.
Yeah, and that's exactly the way.
A few thousand miles further south, and the way I look at it. You know?
Well, but that's the thing, you know, and that's what we've you know, our family are completely behind whatever we want to do. You know, we don't need to seek their approval, but obviously our parents are a little older than us and so on, and you want them to be happy with what you're doing and be comfortable, you know. And we've discussed this with them, and we've said, you know, yeah, it's Spain, but it isn't Spain. You know, it's 2 hours on a plane. You know, it takes me 2 hours to get to go and see my mother-in-law. You know, sometimes I wish it was 6, but no, it takes me 2 hours to go and see my mother-in-law. It takes me an hour and a half to see my mother. So, you know, that's the infrastructure in the UK for you. That's another reason that we want to move. You know, it's not that far away, really. If we moved into a different county, we'd be, you know, a couple of hours away from my mum. So it's,
well, a friend of mine,
it isn't a different world.
Yeah, a friend of mine lives in Malaga, and he says it's quicker for his mum to come and visit him from London to Malaga than it is for him when he lived in the south to drive up and see her, and the cost is half the price for him to pay for her to get on a plane and fly to Malaga to see him every few months or whatever, you know. So it's not the end of the world.
Agreed. You know, and again, I'm not here to UK bash or anything like that. It's not a case of that. This is my dream. This is our dream. This is what we want to do, is move to Spain. We just, our vision and our view is that it isn't that difficult to do it, for one thing, despite what everyone says. Everyone, you know, rattles the whole Brexit thing and so on. Yeah, that's made it difficult, but these are just hurdles that you can overcome. There are opportunities and ways to do it.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing I get with people since Brexit is, you know, well, they've made it only for the rich people now. You know, you need 27 grand, whatever, and the 9,000 for your partner and everything. But there are ways of doing it. And, you know, if that's all that's stopping you, then, you know, you're letting people put hurdles in front of you to stop you from living your dream. And, you know, if you saw your dream house in the UK and you needed 27 grand, you'd find some way of getting it. You know, you would sell stuff off, get extra jobs, make it work. So I look at it, a life in Spain is better than finding your nice house that you're looking for in the UK. It's a whole new life. And if it's your dream life, 27 grand isn't the end of the world, and it's doable for most people, you know.
Oh, agreed. Completely agreed. You know, and we've looked at that, and you know, I mean, again, I'm not here to tell you my life story and so on. You know, we sold our property over here. We had the money for the NLV, absolutely no problem. And then COVID came along and absolutely killed our last business totally. 7 years established business and killed it dead. So the money was pretty much gone. But we've found ways and means of building that fund back up again. You know, my wife has taken on a second job as a receptionist at a doctor's. She enjoys it. It's great. It's wonderful, but it's also extra income for us, and that's topping that fund up. You know, yes, we want to be there. We'd like to be there now, but we know we can't be there now. There are things we need to put in place, and while that's happening, we can be doing things that can affect that. You know, should we need to rely on that 27k and whatever else, then we know it's going to be there at the time that we need it. You know, it's just making those little sacrifices. There's things that people can do time and again every day to just make that difference. And it might not seem like an awful lot of the time, but added up, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, correct. Exactly right. Look, I mean, I've set up loads of groups and everything. And I've been in 20 years, seen it pretty much all and done it and got the T-shirt sort of thing. But I've been in the same boat. Okay, it was different for me when I moved here, but there wasn't the internet, there wasn't Facebook, there wasn't these help groups. I had to physically get on a plane and go and see what it was like. I had to go and look up these people and find them and you know, get the information from the shows. I used to go to London, all over the country, to these Sunday shows where you sit there and have a donut and a cup of coffee talking to people that are trying to flog you a property where you don't want to live, you know, to gain information. So it was hard, it was different. And you know, if you really want something, you start doing the research, you start making notes and you look into it. And that's it. When you're gaining the information, that's where you take these small stepping stones and you get there. And as I say to people, yeah, it's not easy, but if it was easy, I think half the UK will be on the next plane out here. So, you know, if you really want it, it's accessible. And my main group, the Facebook group, I like to try and trim it down to people. I don't delete people because I don't like them or anything like that. I just delete the negative ones and the ones that say, oh, it's so difficult. So, you know, we want positive energy in the group because people feed off that energy. And yeah, I could tell you all about the tax problems here, or it's difficult to find work at times, or the endless amount of paperwork you have, you know, and the problems. But you have all those problems in the UK. So it's no good me highlighting it. I can point people through it and give them solutions that I've done to get over these problems. But I like to keep the energy positive. And, you know, I mean, so many times people say, oh, well, you're looking at it through rose-coloured glasses, you know, but what is the alternative? That's life. You need to do that, you know. And, yeah, I've had more problems here more than most. I've been through the career. I lost 80 grand on a house here, which I had to get rid of quickly or the bank was going to repossess it. 80 grand. That's a big chunk of money. I got over it. Yeah. My business went right down. I had 4 employees working for me. I got rid of them all. I worked on my own, had to start it all back up again. I went for a divorce here and then I got married here, you know, so I've been through all the problems, and it's just finding solutions and following people and getting contacts with people that will help inspire, like yourself, like we're doing now, telling people how you've gone through it and giving people ideas. You know, that's what it's all about, giving people ideas and then giving them that energy to go and find their own solutions and make it work. If they find it too hard or they're not too keen, then we don't want them, we don't want to help them, you know. So that's the way I try to look at it. I'm sometimes criticized of being too hard on people, but you know, if you want this new life in Spain, it is a fantastic life here. I love it here and I would never go back. I love the UK. I love visiting there. I just don't want to live there anymore. And I think this is a brilliant way of life here for people that get off their arse and make it work. And every British person that's moved here has been through problems. They've had hurdles to get over and they've found solutions. So that's what we like to try and do. Point them in the right direction and coach them through the solutions, because you know, I've got somebody I'm meeting this week here at my house that I haven't seen for a couple of years, and they're looking to buy here. And, you know, I think they're inspired by seeing other members doing it. And they think, well, we can do it. So I know it works. And it's really, if you mix with people, there's an old saying that says, if you want what other people have got, you have to do what other people do. You know? And the sideline to that as well, you have to go through what other people go through. So it's the struggles that make it worth it in the long run.
Well, that's it. You know, I mean, you touched on, some people say that you're too hard and so on and so on. I don't think it is that. It's about being realistic, because if you're serious about making the move, you know, you've got to be realistic with it. You know, I said before, going on holiday to Spain is very nice. It's lovely, and it's a week away or a weekend away or whatever it can be, you know, away from everything. But living there, there's going to be hurdles, there's going to be problems like there is everywhere. But, you know, like you said, in that group, the positivity from majority of the members there, or the rest of the groups, not just British expats in Spain, that working in Spain and so on and so on, the positivity and the different people from different cultures and experiences that are in those groups, it helps massively. You know, the ideas, the attitudes and so on. Like you said then, you know, if you mix with people of that mindset, it's going to rub off on you and you're going to kind of get into that mindset yourself. It's a huge thing. It's a huge resource. And like you said, when you moved over there 20 years ago, you didn't have that. And neither the other people that moved over there 20 years ago. But to have those resources and those guides there and those people on those forums is huge. It's massive. If the information wasn't available to me now with regards to the different options, I probably wouldn't have looked at it any further. I'd have thought, well, Brexit's happened. There's no freedom of movement. I'm stuck where I am. You know, but I can now research these things and find things out, because they're not advertised on billboards in the UK. You can move to Spain, look at this option. You need to go and find them for yourself. But these are the great resources, these pages.
The other thing as well, I mean, you've seen all my posts about my house building and when I'm out having tapas or on the beach and things like that. But that really helps people, because I remember when I saw pictures and photographs of places, I was going to move further up the coast to a place called Mojaca or Torrevieja. Well, I didn't know these places. I saw the pictures and everything. I thought they looked fantastic. But when I actually went there, after I researched it, they're nice places, but it's not for me, you know? And so it's a process of elimination. And with the internet, with my groups, when people, you see these members posting they're out for their tapas or they're out for a stroll on the beach, there's people that like the beach areas. There's other people and members we've got in the group that like taking a dog for a walk in the countryside. So you can see that and go, oh, that looks nice. Where's that area? You look at them up and you follow these people and you connect with them, and it can change your whole attitude. There's other people. The other day, someone said to me, oh, we're retired. We're in we're in our late 60s. We want a place in the country, somewhere nice and quiet. And I went, that's fine. Do you really know what it's like in Spain when it's quiet in the winter, when, you know, the shops are all shut down and you can't get your groceries and you need a car? If you're in your 80s, you need to drive into town to get your groceries and supplies. Well, yeah, you know, and they started looking into it. They came for a trip, and the place in the country that they wanted, that they liked, they realised that that wasn't for them after all, and they moved nearer to the beach. So, you know, seeing what other people have got sometimes helps you decide what you don't want, you know. Or when you see people looking at different areas, you say, I mean, look, Benidorm's lovely, and I know a lot of people live there, but I don't want that lively sort of life, you know. But I know people that, like where I live in Almeria, there's nightlife and clubs in town, but it's there if I want it. I'm just not too close to it. So it's getting that happy medium and what is right for you. And that's what the group is all about, really, helping people decide. So many times people said to me, I want to move to Spain. You know, where's the best place to live? How long's a bit of string, you know? What do you like? What is the best for you? Are you working here? Are you retired? There's so many factors. And then once you start being a member of the group and you look into it, you think, do I really want that? Do I want this? Do I, you know? And it helps people refine their search. One of my biggest things I say to people is, if you're moving to Spain and you really think you want to go, open a book, write a list, make a list. Where do we want to go? Write it down. Put it in writing. And then each week or each month, add to it. Well, we like Benidorm, we like Alicante. Oh, no, we want a bit more sun. We'll go further down. Oh, Malaga. Or it's a bit expensive. Or refine it. Refine, you know. The old saying is ready, steady, aim, fire. Well, no, fire first and then change the trajectory of the arrow, you know, just refine your search that way.
And you know, we've done exactly that, David. We've done exactly that. We've got endless lists of places, and we've looked at it. We've looked at renting property there, and we've thought, oh, geez, no, that's a bit expensive. And then we've looked and thought, oh, well, that's a bit far out, and that's a bit that, you know. So yeah, you're exactly right. From where we were back in 2019, you know, we should have been over there by now. But where we were back in 2019 for what our original plan was and where we wanted to go and what we wanted to do, it's a different story now. It's not. It goes back to the same place, but we've branched off because we've learned more because of, like you say there, touching on what you've said, what people are showing, what they're doing, what you can see, and what it's like and what they're about as well. Because it's different strokes for different folks, isn't it? You know, a little bit of a cliche, but everyone's different, and everyone's attitude and what they want from moving over there is completely different.
So, and also, you know, you're putting it on hold a little bit. It gives you a bit more time to research and refine where it is you're going and what you want to do, you know, and gives you more time to look into it. So when you hopefully you move here and you buy or rent, you get it right the first time, or the probability is higher, you know, to get it right the first time. Because, you know, when you're buying and selling here in Spain, the taxes are pretty high. So you don't want to, you don't really want to move in. Like when I first moved there, the first place I bought, I loved the area, but it wasn't until I've been there a few months I realised that the school next door, you know, down the road opened up, and there's all the people parking their cars in the hotel, crashing and banging plates in the summer months, and you know, so I moved a little bit away from that. I rushed into it when I first bought here. Really, I should have done a bit more research, but that's it. That's how you learn, isn't it? But it cost me money to these mistakes, and that's why when I post it, you know, I tell people, and hopefully they can avoid the mistakes, costly mistakes that some of them that I've made. But it's all about sharing the information. Like what you're doing with the passport, that's completely new to me. But I do know a couple of people have gone down the route. And one of my friends that actually lived here, he was worried about the Brexit, and just before the Brexit, his grandmother, I think it was from Ireland, so he changed his passport. So that problem went over his head. He's got the Irish passport now, so he's fine. But you know, it's looking for the options and taking a bit of a chance and lots of action, as you're doing now, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, that's it. You know, like we said, the foreign birth registration, it's out there for anyone to find if you kind of tag onto it. But it's not out there openly advertised. But it's amazing the amount of people that do message me from other groups and so on. Again, not saying I'm any kind of an expert. I'm not. I've gone through the process and I can answer some questions and I can guide people in the right direction. But it's amazing. My point is the amount of people that don't know that they've actually got that entitlement, that it's there. You know, it's not a case of you were born in Ireland and therefore you're an Irish citizen. There's other avenues you can go down with it. So, you know, there's another option there for probably a lot of members, maybe even in your groups that aren't aware of it. You know, and you're talking about taking action again. Well, again, sorry to interrupt, David, but yeah, I was going to say, you're talking about taking action, and again, we're using this time to take Spanish lessons. You know, because we just feel that that'll help us integrate over there as well. So yeah, I mean, we can't do it right now because we're in a process that's going to take maybe 12 months, maybe a touch longer. But we can use that time to make the transition so much easier when we get over there.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, the biggest thing will help you more than anything and more than you will know is to learn some Spanish. So, you know, get the app, download it. You don't have to speak Spanish here. You can live here quite comfortably without learning Spanish. But if you learn some basic words and phrases, it will help you a lot more, and it will in the long run, big time. I promise you that. So that's one thing. Now, Nick, before, I don't want to touch too much on the passport thing because I would like to talk to you about that in another show. But if people want to contact you in the group, they're more than welcome to hit you up as a friend and message you in the group, and I'm sure you can give them some information about what you've done as regarding the Irish passport. Is that okay?
Well, all day long. Yeah, any questions I can answer, I will do. You know, I mean, I won't pretend to know something if I don't know it, but I can certainly pass you on to somebody that would do. But absolutely, with regards to the Irish passport, foreign birth registration, if anybody wants to get in touch with me, feel free. You know, I'm a friendly type, so you have no issues with that whatsoever. I'm more than happy to pay it back. You know, I think I put a post on the group about one of your books that I purchased about working online. You know, and I put it on there just to pay it along. So if other people were thinking, should I buy that? Is it of any use to me? And so on and so on. It is of use. It's helped me. It might not help everyone, but my point is I'm happy to kind of pay that back and help where I can. So yeah, if anyone's got any questions, hit me up. No problem. Message me.
Yeah, good. I appreciate you. Thanks for buying the book and giving it some comments on the group and everything. If you've done the review on Amazon, which I believe you have, you get an automatic invite to the party. It was going to be for next week, but I can't do it next week with the problems here at the moment. So we've decided to put it off to maybe later in the year or definitely the early part of next year. So there's a lot of people, a lot of my family and friends that can't make it this year due to some of them not being too well, some illnesses and stuff. So, but it's definitely going to happen. It's going to be a big party. And anyone that's bought my book is going to get an invite to it. Anybody that's bought past or now will get an invite to the party, and it's going to be a big party, I promise you. So we look forward to seeing you in person then. And don't forget, if you're coming down this way, you've got to come past Almeria and come and check out the tapas here. We have some of the best tapas in Spain here, and I've travelled all over Spain, and they're free, remember, free tapas here in Spain. So that's another reason you want to move to Almeria.
Absolutely, David. Yeah, all over that, pal. All over it.
So, Nick, before we go, what places have you been to in Spain at the moment?
Blimey. We've been to Estepona. Mias, we spent quite a bit of time down there. We've obviously done Benidorm. We've been right up the coast. Blanes we've been to on a number of occasions. Really like Blanes, up near Lorette, a little bit further back than Lorette. Quite a quiet, traditional kind of town, not very touristy. Bilbao, been to Bilbao as well, on the opposite coast. So yeah, I mean, we've not
Well.
travelled extensively around there, but we've had a good taste of different areas.
Good. So you've got a pretty good idea. That's great. Now you're refining your research on where you've been, you know, so that's really helped. The only place I haven't been to where you just said is Bilbao. I haven't been up that way yet. I've been near it. I was up in Pamplona and up that area with my wife some years ago, but I'm not too keen on that area because to me it seems very similar to the French coast, you know. And I travelled a lot around France some years ago. Plus, it's not so warm up there. I like to stay down the south, warm and sunny.
Yeah, there is that. I can agree with you on that. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was lovely, it's very nice, but I'm more for the southern coast all day long.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, well, great. Thanks very much for that, Nick. We appreciate that. And if anyone wants any more information from you or about the Irish passport, or they want to get in touch with you, they can see in the group, in the Facebook group, they can come and hit you up as a friend and send you a message, and you'll give them the latest info. It's always good to get it from someone that's just been through it, because you know the best, because you know what it's like. You've just done it, so that's good.
Yeah, you know, I'm going through the process. You know, the application's in and being worked on at the moment. So yeah, I mean, and I'm keeping up to date with all the changes, the staffing, where the queues are up to, how long it's going to take, and so on and so on and so on. So absolutely, if anyone's got any questions, eligibility, or anything else that I can help with, then I'm more than happy to. Yeah, absolutely no problem at all. I'm always lurking around in the group. So yeah, that's no problem.
And don't forget to let us know in the group how it goes for you. You know, when you get it all finalised, get the paperwork through. It's interesting to learn.
Absolutely, mate. Yeah.
Okay, thanks very much for joining us today, Nick. Thanks
for having me on, David. Cheers. Have a great day.
If you have enjoyed this podcast by David Wright, then you will love his new books. Out now on Amazon and Kindle, packed with money-saving tips and information on living and working in Spain. Just go to livinginspainbooks.com. David also has a popular blog for expats in Spain. Come and take a look now at britishexpatsinspain.com.